Hey,
I like it.
Alex and Jim, analyze Billy Joel lyrics, episode
Episode 86?
86. 80.
86. Do you know the origin of 86ing someone from a bar?
Oh, no. Bust. What is it?
I will I will tell you what I heard. There was in olden times, not sure how olden,
Sure.
um, a big deal, cool bar to go to on 87th Street in Manhattan. Such that they didn't want a reputation for having drunkards in their bar. So
Ah,
when you got too drunk, they would kick you out the back door onto 86th Street.
I bet that's true. I bet that's,
I hope it is
yeah,
pretty great.
great.
So you got 86th.
That's fantastic. We missed another week because stuff's always going on, which is fine.
Stuff's happening.
How's the strike going? Because it seemed like there was a little daylight.
There's some negotiating happening.
Okay.
It's still pretty contentious and grotesque,
Yeah.
but it's happening.
Okay.
So that's better than radio silence, which was the first 110 days
Yeah.
of the strike.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, they made the studios made a terrible offer that was a little better than their old terrible offer, and the guild said no, thank you. That's a terrible offer, but we'd be happy to talk some more.
Yeah.
So whether it's good faith negotiations just yet, I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think the studios are still trying to pull one over.
Yeah.
Uh, and are probably going to realize pretty soon that they can't quite pull one over.
Yeah, they're going to have to, of course, the union is going to have to give a little. Everybody has to give a little, but you can't give all.
No,
Yeah, there has to be some progress that recognizes the change in the landscape.
for sure.
Yeah,
And there has to be the option to continue having careers.
yeah, exactly. That we make a
That's
living.
it.
We're not serfs. Yeah,
Yep.
yep, for sure. Uh,
Yeah. So there's some hope.
that's
I'm
good.
still betting on late September, maybe.
Yeah, I think like most people, what I've been reading, and it makes sense to me, is there's going to come a moment when the studios and the heads of the networks and everybody else will realize, well, if we don't manage to get a deal done by this date, we're going to be real screwed for getting stuff done for new content for the next seasons. And that's
Yeah.
going to be terrible because suddenly market share and Wall Street and all of that
Yeah.
stuff, you'll take an absolute bath.
That's what it'll take, I think, is the prospect of upsetting Wall Street.
Yep, for sure.
They don't mind us being upset or the actors being upset, but if investors get skittish,
Yep.
that'll that'll turn the tide. And that's again, that's I think that's September
Yep.
is when if you don't get a deal done by then the spring season is in jeopardy.
Yeah.
Like the fall season is already pretty shot.
Yeah.
But then spring is and then the summer movies next year get pushed. And yeah, so I think it happens soon-ish.
And the
Oh,
movies, yeah, and the movies and stuff that you've already got, say, a locked in script,
right.
it's going to be garbage because a part of the process is rewriting, as you see.
Yeah.
There'll be the occasional, like, well, this was just a great script, and it does happen. But mostly there's in the moment realizing, oh, this scene doesn't work, but it
Sure.
almost works.
Yeah. Or hey, this actor is funnier than we thought he was. Let's give him some more pages.
Yeah.
Or this dude is a dummy. Let's cut some stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, it's a living organism, and you got to have writers on set.
Yep. Yeah, and you can't and run around that. You'll get the occasional actor who's a great improviser, and that's fine-ish. But
Yeah,
it's even dicey to pull that off during a strike anyway,
right. And
because
you still have to have another eye looking at it.
yeah, yeah,
So it'll be back. It's got to come back.
yeah, yeah, it will. It will.
Okay.
Yeah, I went, so a buddy of mine, so I went on a little field trip yesterday.
Oh, where'd you go?
A buddy of mine lives in LA, and we always would have lunch like once a week. He's a very good friend. I've known for like 30 years, and we had gotten in the habit of we would have lunch once a week. We usually go out for sushi. Sometimes we go out for like absolute trash food. Like we're in the mood for a giant meal, so we'll go to like, you know, the factory that makes cheesecake. I don't know if you've ever been to that, the actual factory where
Oh
they
yeah,
make cheesecakes,
I've taken the tour.
where they have the biggest menu in the world, and every meal is just too much food and it's glorious and whatever. Well, then I ended up buying a house and I ended up moving sort of far away. I live more in the Bay Area now. And what we do is about once a month, we meet halfway somewhere
Oh, great.
for lunch. And so we'll
So
meet,
what's halfway?
and it's any number of things. It's like San Luis Obispo, so wine country. None of them are absolutely halfway. It's,
Oh,
a
great.
little bit closer to him, a little bit closer to me, whatever it is. And then he
Yeah.
had the idea, let's look on a map and what is just about absolutely halfway. If we were really doing halfway, and of course, it's more or less a truck stop.
Sure.
So there's this place called Kettleman City.
Wow.
And
Okay.
in Kettleman City, there's a sign that I've passed by a million times on the way to LA, on the way from LA, that's clearly a tourist trap called Bravo Town.
Bravo Town.
And it's a cardboard cowboy welcoming you to Bravo Town. I'm like, I think I know what that will be. And I kind of want to go because I know it's going to be stupid.
Yeah,
But
that's pretty guaranteed.
but in my opinion, wonderfully so. And there's a very good chance it'll just be that magic thing where it's garbage, but they make amazing barbecue.
Yeah.
They
Right, right.
have cornbread or whatever it is they have, and they've got a tourist trap sort of attraction, and that over the years they've hidden the wooden Indian, they've done whatever to make it less.
Right, right.
And I always would pass that sign, and he said, there's something on the map called Bravo City or Bravo Town. I was like, yes, we're going to Kettleman City to Bravo Town. And my friend,
Wow.
I recommend it to everybody. It is perfect. It
So
is,
Bravo Town is the restaurant?
yes. And it's a giant, it's one of those giant restaurant slash gift shop things
Oh, sure.
where it's got games, they sell ice cream, they sell wine, they sell crap that you shouldn't buy, that are like,
Yep.
t-shirts with, I farted my ass off in Kettleman City or whatever it says.
Yeah.
And
The
just
best.
tchotchkes galore. They're
Yep.
selling, by
They
the
always,
way. Huh?
it always seems like such a good idea when you're there.
Yep. They sell,
And
by
then
the
in your
way.
house, you're like, it's garbage.
Yep. They're selling a suit of armor too.
Okay. Good.
And I got to tell you, I'm their market because I was close to pulling the trigger. I was like, damn, a suit of armor for $300
Oh, that's really good.
for a suit of armor. I don't know what they normally run or what they used to run when you needed one. And then I thought,
Wow.
man, my wife would be so mad. Like,
Yeah.
put this thing, and I'm like, front and center. And she's like, no, garage, actually trash. Sure. And they had all
Oh,
kinds of just weird junk. And they had a little Western town
Great.
with all facades, way too small, weird. The hotel, I got a picture of myself at the Hotel California,
Oh, very nice.
which I checked out of, but they don't want to let me leave.
I couldn't wait.
It was so dumb. My favorite thing is they have all these games, and and I mean this sincerely. I was so happy that half of them were broken.
Oh yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
that's what they should be.
that's what they should be. Oh, that's so great.
They had a thing where you could put $1 in and push buttons and hear a train whistle and hear a crow and hear a school bell and whatever other thing, and a chicken would lay eggs, and it's this animatronic chicken that stretches its neck, and the best thing is all of it covered in bird shit.
The best.
Filthy, horrible.
Wildly unsafe, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, and the barbecue was great.
Oh, good.
It was great. As I'm putting
Wow.
$1 in the thing to push the buttons, I said to my friend Walker, I said, "Well, there's a me born every minute."
Perfect. Oh my
That's
God.
what I did. What did you do the last week?
God, what did I do? I had laryngitis,
Nice.
sort of.
Yeah.
Here's what I did. I thought I'm on strike. I have a lot of time to kill. What I will do is I'll get an Xbox like I used to have back in the day. And
Yeah.
back in the day means when I was 40.
Right.
So I thought, like, well, I can't get the new one because it'll be too many manifestations down the road and I won't be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't want to download games. I want to have a little CD and stick it in the machine.
Yeah.
And so I went to GameStop and I was like, hey, 15 years ago, I played a lot of Xbox and I want that one. Do you? And they have it? Yes. So I got an Xbox 360 and a couple of games and I brought it home and I can't figure out how to make it go.
Oh.
And it was the saddest spectacle. I set it up perfectly, put the disc in, nothing happens.
Oh.
And then I'm online, like, how Xbox, how make go? Forever.
Yeah.
And I ended up just downloading the game. And now I'm playing Call of Duty Black Ops and absolutely getting murdered immediately.
Of course. Yeah. Of course you are. Yeah.
There's a learning curve, and I have not invested the time yet. But it's, I like the old days. You would play a shooting game, and all the problems were in front of you, right? Yeah. No one was shooting at you from behind or a balcony.
Yeah.
You could see, like, oh, there's a Nazi running towards you, and you would shoot the Nazi, and there'd be a little spurt of blood, and you're like, ah, this is great. And this one, you look, there's 3 other guys yelling at you. You're like, you have to hide behind this car, and then you have to like strangle someone from behind. So you have to put your gun down first. I'm like, this is too much.
Yeah.
They're too complicated now. And
Yeah.
it's not, I'm sure if you play every game up to that, it's fine. But to like be in a cryogenic state for 15 years and then try to play a game, I feel insane.
You're
Yeah.
You're frozen at Pong and you came out.
I'm a little bit frozen at Pong. Yes. Yeah. It's like time traveling.
Yeah.
And being like, with no one helping you. Just like, what do you use for money? Is money our dollars credits now? Oh, I've been in a fugue state, but also having fun.
That's good.
Yeah.
Tom, who watches our show sporadically, I don't know how many episodes he's watched. He's watched some.
And that's the way to watch it.
He's done it right. And he mostly watches when we talk about songs from An Innocent Man.
Okay.
That's his Billy Joel album. I mean, he likes other Billy Joel songs, but when he was a young man, that song came out, and that was a song that, he would have actually purchased and been part of his like growing up with music. He's a gamer. And I don't need, he's
Ah.
enough of a gamer that if I called him a gamer, he'd go, I'm not a gamer, because he knows other guys who are really gamers.
Right.
But he's
Right. Yeah.
stayed up on it. So he does. And a lot of his friends, he has friends in other cities who he'll commiserate with online. He's adept enough that he can be on the headset and it all seems fine to him, where they actually talk to each other that way.
Yeah. See, that's the leap I can't make.
Yeah.
I want to be alone with my
Yeah.
thoughts. I
Yeah.
don't want teenagers yelling at me.
You're still better.
Seth
You're still better.
tells a story of playing one of those games with the headsets, and you get just paired up with whoever else is on Xbox Live, and he got into a screaming match with somebody, some attorneys, and he said, like, how old are you anyway? And the kid was like, I'm 14. How old are you? And then Seth lied about his age to a random kid.
I am also
He
14.
lied by saying he was 35 when he was really 40, which did him no good.
Ah, that's magic.
It's the
You're
best.
still more advanced than me, because I still prefer a game that just scrolls right.
Yeah, also good.
I prefer a very narrow reality.
Yeah, right. I don't like these open world games where you like drive your car around until someone tells you what to do.
Yeah.
What? I got to find someone in the game to tell me what the game is?
I'll tell you one thing. Now, the Grand Theft Auto. I played that, which is an open world one.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where every now and then, and I would do this for hours. I know I'm not alone in doing this, but I was very amused to get in my car and drive around for hours safely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would turn
With
the
like
radio
heated
dial.
seats,
Huh?
get your heated seats and all that.
Yep. Stop
Right.
at lights.
Yep.
I found
Just
that
wave at the.
really. Yep. And I never liked the hurting the hooker. I never liked that.
Yeah,
Beat up the
that's not
dude in a Hawaiian shirt? Absolutely. Absolutely.
absolutely. Leave the hookers. They're working hard.
They're doing a job, and you could feel any way you want about the job, but they have body autonomy. They're fine.
That's right. They're not bothering you.
Yeah. Every now and then they're giving you a handy. So
Is that in the game?
it's funny. Yes, it is, but it isn't. So there's a thing where you can get energy by hooking up with a lady. I think in real life, what you get is the clap, but
Yeah,
in the
that's how you get energy, I think.
yeah, she gets in the car and the car goes weak, 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 and when it's done, you have more energy.
Wow.
I just don't think
It flies in the face of logic.
yeah, I don't think those programs understand how even nice romantic sex doesn't give me energy.
No, no, you fall asleep.
That's the whole point, is that afterwards you're like, oh, okay, cool. I feel okay about stuff for a second.
Yeah, and then you argue about who's going to get up and blow out the candle.
Yeah,
You burn the fucking house down.
that's right. Years ago, I'm glad that you probably realized this faster than me, but I'm glad years ago I realized, yeah, fucking bathtub's not sexy. No. You're a tall man. You probably tried that once.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not even a bathtub,
yeah.
much less sexy.
Yeah, it's
Like,
terrible.
if you have like hemorrhoids, it's a great place to sit for a while. Is that sexy?
That is very sexy.
There's never, I don't remember encountering a bathtub that was big enough to be sexy in.
Oh, speaking of sexy, State of Grace. You picked, I don't know if I've heard this song before. I must have. It
I'm
feels,
sure you did.
it's great
Did it
actually.
feel familiar?
Huh? Yeah, it does.
Did it feel like, okay?
Yeah, I must have. It's just not a song you would hear very often. Have
Yeah,
have you ever heard it live?
no,
Yeah.
no, for sure. Never heard it live. Listened to it like an hour ago in preparation for a change. Pardon me. And I was struck by, I don't know, I'm always surprised when his songs are very melodic. I don't know why. But like the lesser known songs where I'm like, I don't remember how that goes. And then you play it and you're like, oh, this has a nice melody.
It does.
But I mean, of course it does. Uh, but I'm always a little like, oh, hey, he can do this stuff. And then I immediately was like, who does it sound like? And what I came up with is it sounds to me like an off-brand Huey Lewis song,
Oh, interesting.
or it could almost be one like a hair band, like one of those like Poison
Oh, when they do their ballad.
when they do like a less hard song for like a movie soundtrack.
Yeah,
It's that vibe.
I could
There's a
hear
lot of guitar in it.
there is, and really nice. It's got the fade out, and I don't like it in this case. I would have liked to finish. I don't
Yeah.
think it's helped by that. It feels underdone, I should say.
Now, is your stance always that the fade out is always bad?
No, not
No.
always. So I've given, in fact, I think on this show, I've given examples of Billy Joel songs where he does an era song, like even on An Innocent Man, there's a couple
Right.
songs that I even think the fade out is good because you're doing a song that's an ode to this particular time period, and those
Yep.
songs faded out. And
Yes.
I feel
That's
like
remember hearing.
Tell Her About It should fade out, and it does. Tell
Yeah.
Her About
Okay.
It
There you
doesn't
go.
need an absolute end, although in concert you would do one if you ever did it in concert.
Right.
But there's definitely songs where it's, I don't know, bugs me is a strong word because it doesn't really bug me, but I like the extra effort of landing it.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
SNL, huh?
yeah, I agree. Yes. It's so much better than like, oh, well, that's the end of the sketch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
If you can find put a bow on it in some way.
yeah, there's just this last little thing that you feel like we completed our journey and there was a nice laugh to leave on. That's what I want from a sketch. And from the music, I want it to finish. I want it to be done.
Yeah.
And
I
then
agree with you.
I don't understand. And this song I feel like merits an ending. It doesn't feel like a song that should have just faded out.
Agree.
You know.
Yeah. With you.
You know what? Heartache Tonight, the Eagles song. You remember that song?
Uh-huh.
Some people like to stand it. That one has a little bit of a fade out, but it's almost like a combo. It fades out, but
Oh,
has a definitive end with the fade out. And I like that.
that's nice. That's a nice move. I
Yeah.
like that, and I also like the occasional. You don't get this a lot anymore, but the fade out into what's happening in the studio.
Oh, I do like that. Yeah.
They start talking to each other, or you hear somebody drop a tambourine.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. The end of Heartache Tonight, he does this big woo. It's a big rock and roll woo, and it's perfect. And it fits the song really well because that song is, it's funny how there's no dirty words in that song. That song is dirty.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
dirty, dirty, wonderful song.
yeah.
It's about people just gotta hook up and gotta get stuff done. It's all that song's about.
That's great. And were you like me when you were a little kid? I just did the Letterman thing. Are you like me, Jim? Did you, when you were little, did you think it was called Party Tonight? I did.
I don't see, I don't know if, no, I don't think so. But my brothers, my brother Steve, who turned out to be kind of a piece of shit, and my brother
Oh,
Mike, who turned out to be virtually a saint, a wonderful brother. But both of them, as far as rock and roll, were like hardcore 70s rock and roll guys. So I heard
yeah.
a lot of that music constantly. So I know that music so much back and forth. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was taught to play poker for money when I was like 7,
Nice.
and people took my money. It wasn't for jokes.
Right. It's
So
not like, oh, let the 7-year-old,
no.
yeah, real money.
So I
That's
got
great.
pretty good at poker. I never got great. But I got degenerate good. Like if I wanted to be a degenerate, I'm set.
Yeah. Out of like necessity,
Yeah. Yeah.
survival instinct.
But that was
I
the era because I
have,
was a young man. So the Eagles were new then, and the radio was filled with them.
right, that's true.
Yeah.
I have a history of the having problems with the word party in some, like I don't hear it correctly. And there's I believe it's a Kiss song. Yes, it is a Kiss song. I want to rock and roll all night. And I thought they were saying, and part of every day.
That's
They thought, oh, that's clever. That's clever that all night isn't long enough. I also want to rock and roll part of every day.
that's a better song.
I think so, right?
Yeah. I want to hear that song.
I thought,
Oh,
oh, they're like, I think I wanted everything to be like, they might be giants, like nerd rock with cute little observations like that. I was like, oh, no, no, no. Most people are, they're going straight at it.
yeah.
Bass.
Oh, that's pretty great. Oh, that's really funny. I just legitimately would enjoy that song better because as far as
Yeah, it's just, I
Kiss,
think it message across where like I want to rock and roll so badly that it doesn't fit into one night.
yeah. It actually feels like you're saying you want to rock and roll more than the other one because the other one's just an exaggeration. I want to rock and roll
Yeah.
all night, party every day. No, you don't. But
No.
part of every day means that one night is continuing. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And just until like noon or 1, then you rest.
And some of the song is about the diner they go to after to just
Yeah, yeah.
get breakfast.
Decompress.
Yeah.
I can take your post diner nap. Then you get ready again.
Oh, that's
I think it's a very reasonable song.
yeah. And I can get behind your what you want. Yeah, I want that
Thanks,
sometimes.
man.
All right, let's talk
Yeah,
about
right.
this state of grace. Um,
State of Grace.
I like the song. Do you like the song?
I like the song a lot.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm almost surprised it wasn't a hit.
Me too.
I don't know if it was released, but I'm like, that could be a little radio song.
And
Why not?
yeah, I think that's a testament to the dumb way record companies operate and the dumb way it almost has to work this way because there's no perfect way it could work to get the music to people, but somebody makes a decision and doesn't get behind a single
Yeah. And that's that.
because man, Billy Joel has a lot of deep cuts where you're like, that was a hit, right? And no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
And
And
I
yeah, just because of
yeah,
some dude, like,
yeah,
nope, it's not going to play with the teens.
yeah.
Okay.
And he was always pretty quickly became, oh, Billy Joel. Yeah, he used to be, no, he's still doing stuff, but he quickly became that and
Yeah.
had to struggle. And then would, an innocent man or something would pop up and he'd be right back up the charts.
Yeah.
We just
But
weird.
he's the classic, everybody's take was they liked the early stuff.
Yeah.
Like even when like Glass Houses came out, they're like, "Yeah, I like the early stuff." Like, buddy, he's not even halfway done.
Yeah. And man, luckily, so many bands too that get jacked because people love their first album and don't let them do anything different.
Yeah,
So at least you didn't have that thing.
almost a nightmare to have a great first album.
Yeah. Uh, fine lyric shape, but
Good
weird
shape.
shape, don't you think? It goes,
Weird, you think?
it gets it well because it starts out chunky and then it gets
Oh
less.
yeah,
That's weird,
that is weird.
huh? First of all,
I think
go ahead.
there's some like solos in there,
Yeah,
which is weird for him.
like you said, a lot of guitar,
Not guitar gets chopped
and
up into a weird shape.
credible guitar too, not like
Yeah,
faux rock, which he does a lot of that. But it's not like okay, trying to rock here, are you? Huh? It's not that. It's
yeah.
nice. It's nice. Do you want to start or should I start?
Why don't you start?
All right. There you go. Slip it away into a state of grace. I know the look that comes across your face right away, a rhyme. It's so to me. Here I am to try to keep you in my line of sight. I'm never certain that you read me right. I like that.
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't want to see. Here we are. Both of us know we are in love. We're in love, I should say. But that isn't always enough. I never could rise above it all. Down I fall. A lot of
great.
lyric all at once and a lot of thought all at once. There you go,
Yeah.
slipped away into a state of grace. What does that? What does it mean, right there? A state
Yeah,
of
that's a good
grace.
question. I mean, it's definitely a cliche uh expression.
Yeah,
I don't quite know what it means, if
this,
I'm being honest.
I kind of like that. I don't automatically know what it means because it doesn't feel like what I normally think it means. It feels like
I
it's
think
a bad thing.
yeah, weird, right? It feels I think it means like a zen and peaceful place.
It goes slowly into a state of grace.
But it sounds to me like he doesn't like that.
You know what? It could be. Yeah, I like it. I do because now it dawns on me. Maybe it's that thing where you know somebody who's effacing. Well, you know, when you meet somebody who believes they're enlightened,
Oh, yes. I'm in show business.
yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
where you meet, they do yoga or
Uh,
they go to this weird church that's, you're
it's
like,
more of a meeting.
yeah, you're like, God, I almost wish you were just Catholic. What the hell is this?
At least I better the devil you know.
Yeah. And they say stuff like where they'll make fun of conventional religion, but then they'll
Yes.
talk about vibrations. And you're like, oh,
Yes. And also will mock conventional science
yeah.
and tell you about their supplements.
Yeah, they'll do that Deepak
Um,
Chopra horseshit where they'll say a sciencey thing, but that it then they'll tie it to how the universe has intentions. You're
right.
like, oh, it doesn't mean that, you dummy.
Yep. You're in there. I call them wellness bullies. They're like wellness assholes.
That's great. I have
Wellness bullies.
say that
Uh,
and I love that.
and it's just a way to feel superior.
Yeah. If you were doing stand up, that's 30 minutes about wellness bullies. That's funny.
Wellness bullies. Yep. That's what you're drinking. Oh boy, here we go.
Yep.
How can you put that in your body? You have a jade egg in your vagina.
Yeah. You know, sugar's poison. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Thanks, man.
you know what's not poison? Occasional joy. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what it means, and I think it might even be that thing where you're half to blame if there's a girl that you're into and you decide to look for the other way, that this is a quality you don't like.
Yeah.
I think you've been there. I know I have. Where you're
Oh,
like,
girl.
yeah,
Oh, I've been there, baby.
yeah, you are.
I think, yeah, I mean, the clue I think is slipping away.
Yeah,
You're slipping away from me. Your attention is going away from me,
yeah.
and I don't like that.
Yep.
Um, I do have I developed a new little hobby
But
when we start reading lyrics. And my new little hobby is to find the first line that makes you realize this is Billy Joel talking, the Billy Joel song. And for me, it's I'm never certain that you read me right.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like, I am slighted and I am mad at you because you're doing it wrong.
Yep. Here I am trying to keep you in my line of sight. I'm never certain that you yeah, absolutely.
It's just like it could be anybody's lyrics until then. And you're like, oh, hey, Bill, are you mad again?
Yep.
You've been
So,
underestimated. Oh,
oh, is somebody being themselves and you don't like that? Sometimes you don't want to see, here we are. Both of us know we're in love, but that isn't always enough. I never could rise above it all. Down I fall. Rise above what? The horse shit of somebody
yeah.
else's needs.
Maybe.
Oh,
I think that both of us know we're in love, but that isn't always enough.
yeah,
Why not?
yeah. I mean, that's true. Sometimes it's true. Sometimes two people are in love and it ain't enough.
I guess if one of them's like stationed in Antarctica,
Well,
it-
that was the plot of Better Call Saul, was a moment when she was like, so what? Right?
yeah,
And you're Billy Joel and you know, you are mean, or not mean, but maybe drink, this is maybe drinking days. You can love somebody real a lot and go, no, can't do this.
yeah, yeah.
And
Fair
by
enough.
the time you get sober, we'll have been apart long enough that we won't be able to do it then either, because now we'll be different people.
I think rise above it all means to let go of things that are imperfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And that's certainly something he could never do.
Yep.
He's like, I could never look past something I don't care for.
Yeah.
I'm going to get hung up on it and write a song about it and make a mess out of everything.
That's for sure. But and I just a side note, so far, I think I kind of love these lyrics. I just
Pretty
think I
great.
do, because they're kind of unpleasant in the right way that's artistically interesting.
Yes. I think maybe the only thing I don't like is the phrase state of grace because it is a cliche. It
I
isn't,
did
it's
like,
a, there's apparently a Taylor Swift song by the same title.
yeah. Um,
Um,
this
which
is
we could have
older.
done it too for
Yeah.
what?
This is older though, so for
This
sure.
was, it was first.
But
But
here's what I'll say though. Yes, I agree. I don't want to hear those cliches except when you upend them. I kind of like
yeah.
it, and it seems like we're upending the phrase.
Well, I think just by not liking it very much, he's
Yes,
upending. I think it's supposed to be a desired state.
exactly. And I think he's being sarcastic about it, is what I think. Let's see how it goes. I think you're up.
Okay, I'm looking it up on Wikipedia to see what the definition is,
Okay.
and it seems to be religious. A state of sanctification by God, the state of one who is under such divine influence. So this is a person who is rising above human things,
Yeah,
and he don't care for that.
that's great.
Yeah,
I think.
I like it. Yeah, he's like, come down here and be real with me,
Yeah,
and being in a state of grace.
yeah.
Um, shall I?
Please, yeah.
But darling, there you go, slipping away into a state of grace. Granted, this world is not a perfect place. Still, it's the world that I'm in. Yeah, I think that confirms.
That's great.
That is great.
And part of what that is to me, I think about there used to be these two lovely ladies who, for some reason, really wanted to minister to me in my old neighborhood. They were these two Mormon girls.
Ah, yeah.
And I found it annoying on so many levels, but also amusing. I was like, they're dressed beautifully. They're
Yeah.
they're not dressed like tarts, but they're
Right.
still dressed, if we're
Yeah.
being honest, to tempt me in a different way.
Aha.
Maybe they're assuming I'm not married because I was, I'm married, so that would none of that would have went anywhere. But I'm like, you want me to think that if I go to this place, I could meet a nice girl, and
Right.
you want me to think one of them could be one of you, and that that you're being too friendly, and I'm like,
Mhm.
you're shopping the state of grace around,
Yes.
and and I'm with Billy Joel on this. I'm like, can we just be people?
Right.
Still, it's the world that I'm in. I like that. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
but this is where I'm at.
Quit. Yeah. Let's yeah, I think he's saying like quit pretending everything is perfect
Yeah,
and come down here and argue with me.
yeah. Quit pretending you have the
I
answer.
want to fight. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you don't get anywhere that way. Here I am talking while you don't hear a word I say, knowing you're watching me from far away, somewhere that I've never been. Great.
yeah.
Similar
Sure.
to church. I've never been to church. Apparently, he used to go to church.
He might have. Yeah, he definitely is. Definitely enough. He's said enough that we can fairly conclude that he's jaded stuff.
He's got enough reference points.
Yeah. Some.
Don't you see? You've lived a different life than me. It doesn't mean you have to be afraid of how we're not the same. Don't leave me now. This feels now I'm feeling like it's a less childish version of you Catholic girls start much too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like but for like the wellness crowd.
Yeah. It's
Stop pretending you're so healthy.
yeah. It's that tough argument that people have had where we like each other, but I'm religious, you're not religious. Can we live with that? Or do you have to become religious, or do I have to give up God? And that's a real thing people deal with, and they come to a
Oh yeah.
variety of answers.
Yes. Been
Yeah,
there.
yep.
Been on
My,
both sides of that one.
huh?
I've been on both sides of that one.
Yeah,
I was very Catholic for 19 years.
yeah,
Uh, 6 of them voluntary. And then I flipped the switch.
yeah,
So I can remember lecturing a girlfriend about how holy I was and how she wasn't being holy enough. And it's very embarrassing to think about. And
Do
you
I
do
know
want to
that
shut her.
girlfriend? Do I know that girlfriend?
No,
Okay.
no, no. Things had fallen apart for me religiously by then.
That, yeah, yeah, that's a hell of a thing. And wow, that's pretty, I don't know, this is pretty intense. That's actually, again, I'm here. I like this.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. How can I get you to stay where you are, keep you for going too far? He must have misprinted this. I love, by the way, that if you look for Billy Joel lyrics, you'll find the most mistakes on billyjoel.com.
As it should be.
Yep. Uh, how can I get you to stay you are, keep you from going too far? Holding you here is so hard to do. I'm losing you. Man, that's great because that makes me like that we're talking about a state of grace because that
Yeah.
losing a girl or a guy to their religion, to their idea of God, to the fact that you can't be that you're like, you
Yeah.
can't take that step because you're too honest. Because
Right.
you
Yeah, you're
can't
too
lie
real.
about it.
I
Means
live in the world.
means that you're like, look, I could live with you being religious. Can't you just live with me not being? And the tough part is sometimes being religious necessarily means you can't live with a partner who's not.
Yes.
Because honestly,
Most times.
yeah, if you believe it's
Most
true,
religions.
if you legitimately believe it's true, then how could you? How could you be like, oh yeah, yeah, we could get married. And the whole time I know you were going to hell.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I've given that lecture too.
Yeah,
And not great. I've gotten it and I've given it.
yeah, worst.
I'd rather get it, I think.
Yeah,
I also, here's the other thing I like about this idea, I'm losing you. I think there's a lot of stuff written about losing your partner to lower things like drugs or cheating or crime or whatever.
yeah,
Their life gets worse and you lose them that way. It's rare that you hear a song about somebody losing their partner to a higher state.
yeah,
It's really interesting. Obviously, he doesn't consider it necessarily a higher state,
yeah. But you're
but
right.
this idea that like, you're too peaceful for me.
Yeah,
I'm losing you to your own centeredness.
yeah. That's pretty
Fascinating.
wonderful.
It's a great little song.
And it's a great
Like,
like I think the original idea why we did the Billy Joel show was because I was thinking about things he does lyrically that I've never heard before. Um,
yeah,
and we started with moving out, and it was that first lyric. And you're right, I don't think I've heard that a lot of losing somebody to something great or losing somebody potentially
yeah,
to a calling.
right. Or at least to their improvement.
Yeah. And man,
I
that
think
is
it,
a truism.
yeah, I think it's a pretty, I guess, a common rom-com theme
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, we were both losers and now you have a fancy job and your cool fancy friends. But
Yeah.
this is just like, just have inner peace now and
Yeah.
you don't need me.
And there's, you know, lyrically, I now kind of like the fade out
Oh, interesting.
because there is, you look at it lyrically, there's no resolution,
Yeah,
there's no good end, and there's not even an end. He doesn't make peace with the fact that she's gone,
right.
and she isn't even really gone. It's more where it's a little snapshot of her going.
Yeah. Thematically, it thematically fades out. He's
Yeah,
fading out
yeah.
from her line
I'm
of
wrong.
sight.
The fade out is kind of perfect actually now.
The things that happen when you listen to the words.
Yeah, musically, I would have liked an ending just because I think musically it feels like there should be one, but lyrically and the good marriage of lyric and song too, by the way.
Yes,
Oh, there you go, slipping
it
away,
matches up nicely.
drifting away into your sacred place. Wow. That's a nice song. You picked a goodie. That is interesting.
Good old song.
And it doesn't really make sense now that I hear it and now that I think about it, that it wasn't at least got a little more notice.
Yeah, I'm really surprised.
But this whole album wasn't particularly a big hitter anyway, as far as like people noticing it in any way.
No, true.
Stormfront's a good
Yeah.
album, and yet it's not one. It's just it occupies this weird place in his career
Yeah.
because this is
Yeah.
before, yeah.
It had was there a song or two from it in a movie,
I
or was that the previous album?
couldn't tell you. You know what's interesting? I've watched an interview with him talking about um why he stopped writing songs, and there's a lot of different things he said.
Yeah.
In one of the interviews, he said he liked having written a song,
Yes,
but he hated writing a song.
for sure.
And he struggled taking it too personal, uh, dicks like us.
Oh no,
Like,
we
you know,
contributed.
critics and stuff. You know, I wouldn't say we're critics really. We're just two guys making jokes and talking about a guy we love. But there definitely has always been pick a song and somebody's got, pick Piano
Oh,
Man, magnum opus. He's known for this. Man, we all got opinions about what's wrong with it. And
oh yeah, man. He had to hear about tonic and gin for 40 years.
yeah, and what a funny thing to have a song like that that people won't shut up about with their critiques, and also you damn well better play it.
Yep,
It
yep.
I could not imagine a you can't win scenario more than
Right.
what we say about Piano Man and how mad we are if you don't play it.
Yep, play that song that caused us all to say hurtful things to you. Play it.
Hey, now play the one you wrote for your first wife before she ripped you off.
It must be such a weird psychodrama every night on stage for most artists.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
wonder how they separate themselves from that, or if they do.
I'm yeah, they and the thing is, like I love Taylor Swift. I shouldn't say I love her. I appreciate Taylor Swift. It's not like I would go out of my way to see her in concert. I don't have
Yeah.
$10,000 to spend or whatever, but I appreciate Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift fans, none of them are critiquing anything she has to do.
Doesn't seem to be, no.
They love everything,
Except like in their personal life, maybe.
and even then they're on her side.
Yeah. They're like, he's no good for you.
Yeah. And they there's stuff you could critique, but they just don't do it. Billy
Yeah.
Joel, I'd say objectively, is a better writer than Taylor Swift.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
Musically, lyrically, across the board. Is it just that
Yep.
when you're just that good? Oh, you know what? Maybe it is. When you're that good, the flaws are just going to stick out more
Some of that for sure. I
because
think
you
also
feel
when
like,
you're that good, you make some points.
yeah,
And when you make a point, somebody has a counter argument. I mean, like
yeah.
um Catholic Girls. What is the name of the damn song?
Only the good die young.
Thank you. Fuck. Makes such a nice little point, and it's such a great little vignette. It's a very good song, and everybody got super mad at him.
Yeah.
And then Allentown is a great song with a nice little vignette and a very good point, and people got so mad. And Good Night Saigon, same thing. It's like, if you're making a point, someone wants to argue with you. I think a lot of Taylor Swift songs don't make points.
Right.
They paint pictures,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't really know her work very much. I shouldn't say that. Maybe she is very political.
I like her song. I think it's called Mean.
Yeah.
Why You Gotta Be So Mean. And that one is a very pointed song about people who are jerks to her coming up. and a
Great.
specific person who said she couldn't sing. And in the end, she says, you know, when this is all over, you'll be just some idiot in a bar drinking, and I'm going to be here and I'm still going to be going. And it's about misogyny. And so she does make, and also I want to be careful because, man, they will come after you, those Swifties.
Oh yeah, they'll shut this thing down.
I, I, I like any woman artist, even if I don't like their music for myself. I like anybody who I'm sure is driving the ship, and there's no question about her.
Oh.
She's driving the ship.
Yes, great. She's running the room.
And she gave bonuses to the truck drivers on her last tour.
Yes, truly great.
I love you forever. You took care of working men and women because you recognize that what they do makes what you do possible.
Fantastic.
That's the version of down to earth you can be. And then you can be as uppity in every other way you want to if you just recognize that other people matter. I don't care.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, I don't care if you have your own candy shop on your property just because you don't want to shop with other people. I don't care. It's fine. Do whatever you want.
Go for it. As long as it's not there to lure small children.
Yeah.
Go for it.
No examples, you know, I can't think of one. Yeah, you know what? Nice job. That's a good song. And I like that I actually had a legit reason to change my mind about the fade out. When I think about it, lyrically matching the lyrics, the music and the lyrics matching, I was, yeah, there's no good resolution here.
Perfect. I mean, the last words are what? I'm asking because I closed the tab by accident.
It is.
There you go. Slipping away. There you go, drifting away.
Yeah, she ain't here. She ain't gone. There's no resolution.
Yeah, perfect.
That's pretty badass because there ever was a truth about life. There's no resolution till the one.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
no closure. There's no resolution.
That's great. Okay. Well, well
great.
done.
Well done.
Hey,
Bill.
Look at that.
Oh, what do we got here? Smoke.
Yep. This is a good clue, I will say. And it's one you could get wrong pretty easy going down the wrong path. If you end up on the right path, you'll end up with the song immediately.
Wow.
I'm proud of this clue because I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. Because usually I put the most literal clues on there. Or like the time I put a big bullet up for Big Shot.
Right. So smoke. Where there's smoke, there's fire. A smoke monster. Smoke.
Well, you're on the right track. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I'll give you one hint and you got it. If you want a hint, then you'll got it right away.
I wonder. Okay.
Let's say you're in your backyard.
Yep.
And you look out and you see smoke in the distance. What's the first thing you ask?
Hey, what's that smoke? What's that smoke?
You say,
is there a fire? Where's the fire? What's the hurry about?
Where's the fire? What's the hurry about? Where's the fire is the first thing you always say, right?
Fire.
Where's the fire? What's the hurry?
Smoke. Where's the fire? Nice.
That's a good clue, right?
That's a really good clue.
I was pleased because they are getting harder and harder.
Girl, tell me about it. I have a trivia question, and I may have used this before.
Awesome.
So I'm going to make it a two-parter.
Okay.
The Stranger LP, when that came out, that became the biggest selling album in Columbia history. Now, I either asked you before, what album did it unseat? Or what album unseated it? So I will ask both, because one of those will be new.
Okay. So
two-parter.
The Stranger became the Columbia
Records' biggest selling album at that time.
Okay.
It knocked out who?
It knocked out Columbia Records, so that's not the Beatles. They were never on Columbia. Frank Sinatra.
Nope. Fresher. A little fresher than that.
Yeah. Okay.
Sinatra would have hated these guys.
Um, okay. The Chipmunks.
Not as far off as you'd think. Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh, Schneike. Okay. So
Bridge
knocked
over
out
troubled water.
Garfunkel. And then I'm gonna say ZZ Top.
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
Born in the USA, that album there.
Here's the great.
Knocked out.
I'm so bad at trivia that I'm sure you asked it before, and I still had no shot.
I don't know. I asked one of those before, and I couldn't remember which.
Simon and Garfunkel. Do you know what album?
Bridge over troubled water.
Give her trouble water.
Yeah.
You know that I saw an interview with Paul Simon, and he was talking about that and how Art Garfunkel wasn't a big fan of the song in the beginning. And Paul Simon would tell that story a lot because it made him mad.
Oh, I fucking love Paul Simon.
Yeah, me too. He's definitely.
He has a new album, right?
Does he? I probably, but I bet
he does.
We'll end up listening to it.
I believe he does, and he's another guy I could podcast on.
Yeah, I like so much of, and he's a different kind of Billy Joel in the sense of like he's a different kind of dick.
Different kind of New York area dick.
Yeah, he's more like acerbic, and you get the impression that he'd be unpleasant to you, but not not undeserved. I'm not suggesting that. He don't owe me nothing. It's just like Billy Joel would be nice to you. He's just got issues. Whereas Paul Simon would be like, I don't have time for you. I think.
Yes. I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
I met him once very briefly, and he was very pleasant. But yes, you get the sense that you want to be on his good side or out of his way.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Paul Simon, here's what it is. Paul Simon is like, I'm Paul Simon. And Billy Joel is, I'm Billy Joel.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between those guys.
Yeah. Yep.
I love Paul Simon. I like Billy Joel better, but I love Paul Simon. And there's so many, me and Julio down by the schoolyards are an absolute barn burner, great jam.
Yep. But he walked into the room ready to fight you.
Yeah. Yes.
Because he's even shorter than Billy Joel. So
yeah. And he's not made peace with it. Yeah.
No.
Although he wore the turkey costume, but that's just because Lauren made him, I think.
Yeah, apparently there was a lot of back and forth about that.
Yeah. 50 Ways
Whether or not
great too. Although let me ask you something about the 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. Hasn't it always kind of bothered you? Because it always did when I heard the song. It always kind of bothered me a little that the song mentions 4. Or
yeah. Yeah, 4 or 5. You know, it didn't bother me because of the phrasing.
Yeah.
There must be 50 ways to leave your lover.
Fair enough.
Because people will do that all the time. They'll list 3 or 4 things and go, oh gosh, there must be 30 of these. And they don't list all of them.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nice little escape hatch.
Yeah. Okay. It always bugged me for some damn reason. Because also I was like, here's something I assert. I assert this as truism. You're familiar with that book? I think it's a book from India that tells you the different positions for sex. What is it?
The Kama Sutra?
I assert that I don't care how many the book says, there's 3. and then every other one is an irritating variation on the three that you'd rather do.
Uh-huh.
And that,
Well, that's probably true.
yeah, most of them are, well, here's one that'll hurt your back right away. And,
Yep.
and here's one you're going to have to stop quickly.
Yes.
Here's a
Here's
couple.
one where your quads are gonna burn like hell.
Yep. And here's
Good
two
luck.
that you're going to love.
Yeah. Put those up front.
Yeah. The joke I used to make is the only way there's more than 4 ways to have sex is if you count just the fact that one time you paid with a check. So that's a
Right.
prostitution joke.
Uh,
Also, that makes me laugh that you met a prostitute. Who would take a check?
take a check.
I'm gonna see 2 forms of ID, and she has that thing.
Great. It puts it all in a bag. All
Yeah.
right.
Oh Lord, yeah. There's not. Maybe people are doing better things than I am, but I'm really good at the 3. Well, I'm good at 2 of them. Good at 2 of them.
That's all you need. That's all
Yeah.
you need.
You just need a couple moves that work. Yeah. Here's what I picked.
What do you got?
And it's for episode 87. And tell me if you even believe that we haven't talked about this.
Ooh.
It's still rock and roll to me.
What? I don't believe it.
Right?
Wow. Insane.
I was like, it popped in my head, and I was like, well, we had to have. And then
You
I
had
would,
to have.
and then
Like
I went,
week 3, right?
yeah.
No?
I went
Wow.
episode by episode. I'm like, so we talked about where's the orchestra before it's still rock and roll to me.
Who thought we'd get to State of Grace before still rock and roll to me?
It's still rock and roll to me. And doesn't it have sound effects in it? I'm remembering
Oh.
right.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
So how, as much as we enjoy making fun of sound effects, how have we not talked about this?
It's gonna be a banger, kids.
Dude, this is how I was like, no way. I went through every episode because it was like, we had to have.
Had to.
I
Madness.
feel like I've done something amazing here.
Ooh, look, I'm doing the Spike Lee thing.
Oh,
Whoa.
nice. Is that the thing where you're mad that they won't let you in a certain door for the Knicks?
Yes. Oh,